We're live! Always wanted to do that on camera. So, what's up, y'all? How was your week? We're live.
People jump in.
Yep. Somebody just bought a Pro Tune for a 718 GT4, and I don't know of this person. This is a new person. Generally, we don't tune other people's parts. It's just kind of it's not so existential, I suppose. It's a little bit more protective. When other people are making stuff, hardware, and you're the tuner, when a check engine light happens because of a cracked manifold or a failed CAD or something like that, the tuner gets phone call because the tuner always gets phone call when there's a light, because that's the first place that people think is the problem. So in general, we don't tune other people's parts. We tune our own parts. You know, we have full lifetime warranty. Welcome, Larry. Happy Friday. We tune our own parts. Happy to. We can extract more power of our own parts very, very efficiently. And there's always power to get between, you know, the parts without a tune and then being able to optimize the car for the parts that are on it. Yeah, but in general, we'll have to talk to this fine gentleman, see if it's possible that he bought some parts secondhand, and that's fine. We'll tune those. Or he bought a car that has our parts on it and he wants to tune. Also fine. No issues. What's up, Justin? Friday Slackers. That's us, brother. It was a super short week this week. So get this. It was Memorial Day on Monday, right? And then Tuesday, and then Wednesday, we worked. And Thursday, we had a track day. So we were Ted and myself and Justin and Colin, one of our welders, who I always want to call Connor because it's just a brain fart that I have because I'm old, and his name is not Connor, it is Colin. What if you tune, but what if tune my, what?
What if I could tune?
What if can tune my parts?
What if me?
Justin, you stop doctoring and put all the words down. All of them are important for comprehension. I can tune your parts. I can tune your car with my parts on it. Dundon parts, not my, of course they would be yours once you purchase them, but made by Dundon, just to clarify. And I know you're heckling me, so that's fine. Colonel Taylor in the glass tonight, very delicious. So we were at the track yesterday, and then Ted was off today. So we were going through, all good. We had two cars at the track. We were testing a new suspension setup on the 992 RS, and we were giving Ted his first go in the 991.2 4-liter Lab Rat. So everything on it, it's got all the sauce. It's our first time running Nangkang CRS version 2 tires. So we were trying to get an idea of temperatures and pressures and get some things figured out. I had an off day yesterday. I was slow. Shit happens. I need to work on some of my driving skills. Some of the things that I was good at the end of last season, I've gotten a little fallen into old habits, like we've spoken of in the past. Many amateur drivers will drive the choreography of a racetrack and car, not what the car is going to give them. So I'm falling into old habits, driving choreography. So we'll fix that, because I was not able to get past a 144 yesterday. There was a lot of traffic yesterday. It was a 30-car run group in the A group for PCA. We got a new chief driving instructor as of yesterday. Paul Blake was our previous chief driving instructor. He is working with a different local track organization to help them come up and do better. What's up, Felix? How you doing? and we know we're going to see him. Paul's a great guy. We've got a wonderful, new, very experienced, very fast, very thorough chief driving instructor for PCA local Northwest. His name is Karthik. He has a beautiful, I think maybe, is it shark blue? Maybe it's shark blue? Anyway, it's a beautiful blue. I'm sure Justin has a picture of it somewhere. 992 GT3 RS. So, it's a great car. We have a little GT3 RS clique. There's 4 or 5 of us. So Mark Doran, Aaron, who I don't remember his last name, Will Lemley, Karthik, and I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name. I can see it in my head, and I know I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going to say it. Me, I think that's all the 9923 RSs that were at that track day. There's a couple more local that weren't there. Ed Ased, customer of ours, wasn't there yesterday, but he's another 9923 RS guy. The 2 Walters brothers both have them. They weren't at the track day, so got a decent gaggle of fast cars out here. Yeah, that one. That's the one that Brandon took a number of years ago. I think that was the first one that dropped here in the Northwest. So,
Yep.
Beautiful car. He keeps it immaculate. I don't keep my car immaculate. I wish I did. I wish I had the time. I need to find a full-time detailer to come work for me, but that seems. I like cleaning my cars. I just like having the time to clean my cars, which is the other side of that. So, let's see. What else did we figure out? It's all right. Let me respond to a customer here real quick. Yes, sir, you did. This is actually Mark. Get them out on Monday. So a couple things. From the track day. So we did the non-Kongs. Non-Kongs are a little great tire, sticky, nice, predictable, easy fall off, not abrupt. You can drive them to the edge and you don't lose the tire really quickly. They have an odd sizing, slightly odd sizing. A group of 3RSs sound like geese. Well, stock ones, yes. Dundon ones, no. So, the local 3RS crowd are not as enthusiastic with copious amounts of mods as our satellite friends might be. Our East Coast, our Southeast, our Texas boys, et cetera, et cetera. They're not as into making their cars as loud and proud as others are. It's always been kind of a weird thing for Dundon. A lot of our local customers, there are exceptions. We have a couple lab rats who are local, which is great. But, it's great. We're all friends. We all go to the track. We have a good time. And everything's a gaggle for me. It's a gaggle of whiskey. It's a gaggle of cars. It's a gaggle of people. They're all gaggles. What are some other animal herd names? Call them herd. What's a troop? What's a troop for? A troop is for not like coyotes or something. Some shit. Anyway, giant squirrel, giant offshoot. Anywho, so we were testing a new spring and damper package on the 9923R. Oh, I was talking about CRSs. The Yoko, the AD09, isn't that a Yokohama? Let Justin answer. Put the picture back up. Sorry, Justin. So we got. Is this picture of the? Whoa, I lost. Whoa, that's weird. Lost my mic there for a second. Is that the 265 or 275? Ah, baboons. Yes, a troop of monkeys or baboons. So anyway, that's about right. That's about right. The issue is the 9.5-inch wheel that we have is a little bit skinny for that width of tire, and so you end up with the sidewalls kind of doing this. and you end up, as the tire's moving, the wheel is going this way and the pavement, the tire's trying to grip the pavement and it's moving this way, it actually has more motion than it normally would. So it takes a little getting used to as you're turning the steering wheel, because there's a little bit more sidewall movement, even on a relatively short sidewall tire. We were running a 265/30/19 on the front. So just little nuancy things. So we're going to keep working on that. So far, like the tires, we're going to keep working with the setup on the lab mouse. We're probably going to go up in spring rate from 120, 150 to, we're going to experiment for all of you. This is what we do. We're going to go up to 150, 180, add 30 newtons all around. Try and give it a little bit more platform. It feels a little squishy. Yeah, you can see it on the on both cars. They kind of bulge out from the bead. They're very straight. You can see it on thanks, Larry. Appreciate that. Love you too. You know I'm not wired like that. I got engineer brain. It's both it's my superpower and my kryptonite at the same time. So, and I got that same feedback from Ted at the track. So yes, you know me well, my brother. You know me well. So anyway, Novin was killing it. He was going quick. This is his third or fourth track day in the 4RS. He got new sticky tires on it. I think he was doing solid 144s, 145s. I wasn't able to crack below 144 in the 3RS. To my defense, the Super Sport 3R or Super Sport Rs that are on there have been on there 2 track days, all of Smokies, the track day at Smokies, and then this track day. So they got a few miles on them, which wasn't somewhat intentional. We were just going to go try and feel the car out, see what we liked, see what we didn't like. So we, on the 992 3RS, I'm kind of going all over the place here, so just bear with me. 992 3RS, and sorry, back to the mouse, we did a hard permanent install race navigator on the car. And there were some things with the installation that weren't quite right, so the race navigator was kind of acting weird. Like we didn't have full GPS pickup, so it was saying Ted was doing 3-minute laps around the track and driving all over the countryside in strange angles as it lost GPS and came back. Justin and I spent the afternoons why Whiskey Friday isn't as polished for today, but we'll get there. Because we were in the back of the mouse changing everything around so that it would work right. So that'll be good. Yeah, Novin's doing great. He's doing great. I'm actually surprised that he's doing as well in the 4RS as he is. That said, he did say the back end is a little spicy now compared to when he had the skinnier stock tires on the car. It's got much more, it favors much more oversteer now than before and he hasn't done a lot. He's got, I think, motorsports bars on it. So he hasn't really dialed out the bump steer to any major degree in the rear. But he's driving the wheels off the car, which is great. And at the end of the day, that's all you need. And to that end, is that an HR issue? What's that? Gaggle or driving the wheels off the car? Shout out to my man, Johnny McClellan. We had some great sessions out there when I was driving the mouse. I had one session in the mouse. We were nose to tail for like, I don't know, 7-8 laps. I was worried I was holding him up, but every time I looked up, I'd pull up or I'd be going around him. This guy, he's got a GT4RS Lab Rat. And it wasn't that long ago that Johnny he was maybe a 149 or so driver at the Ridge. He's easily 145 now, so he's dropped 4 seconds, which is great. He's having a ball, loves the car, and we were having a blast out there, which is what you're supposed to do at a track day. You go out there and you have fun, right? So sometimes for me, that's hard because we're out there at the track trying to, I didn't pick that up right away, Simon. Me and Justin in the back seat is an HR problem. Yeah, in any other car it might be. In the back seat of a GT3 with a roll bar in it, maybe we're doing yoga. You don't know. That's some weirdness there. But anyway, it's kind of hard for me when we're out there trying to test some stuff and think about stuff and support customers, and you're just kind of bouncing around. I was trying to get, we're sending one of our guys to help out a supplier because they're down a few folks, so that we can get some of our parts and actually ship some people some mufflers. So sending one of our guys over there to help. This is an aside. This is a playbook from when I was a semiconductor engineer, because Intel did this to Shinetsu when I was there, because we were down some engineers. We're having a hard time getting some parts to them. So they sent their engineers to us. And I remember that. That was really cool. You know, customer sent some reinforcements to the supplier, because that supplier-customer relationship is ideally very strong, and you're working for each other's benefit, right? Ideally, you know, that's you know, not socialism, but even in a capitalistic paradigm, you can help each other succeed, and that ideally is how it goes, right? Like Simon is our customer, and we're working diligently to ensure that Simon has the tools and parts and information he needs to make him successful with his customers. You know, so it kind of all goes around, right? And it really is, you reap what you sow. So you do good, you try and help. Hopefully somebody does the same for you. Doesn't always happen that way, but hopefully it does. So anyway, that was the mouse. Shout out to Johnny Mac. He's having a ball. Miss Doug Stedding out there. That would have been fun to have both of our 991s out there. His very bespoke lab rat, cup rat, I guess we'll call it, 'cause it's got a cup front end on it. And then our lab mouse, and there's somebody else out there, Pat Kelly was out there. He drove the lab mouse, really loved it. He was one of the founders of Dundon. He hasn't been part of Dundon for 5 years. Yeah, at least, because I just paid off the note not long ago. So yeah, at least 5 years. Anyway, 9923 RS. We revalved the shocks in the rear. We increased the spring rate. We changed the bump springs. And Ted and I were out testing everything, because we increased the spring rate, and we're very methodical as we increase spring rate. Generally speaking, when you increase spring rate in a car, that decreases the frequency. Increases the frequency. Things happen faster per unit time, and can make the car a bit of a handful, because everything's happening faster, right? Amateurs have slow reactions. Professionals have fast reactions. They can predict what's going to happen based off of their inputs and what's going on. Even before the car is communicating to them or reacting, they are already being able to correct for it. So we're very cognizant of that, and want to make sure that the cars that we produce are fast and easy to drive fast. So as we're starting to encroach on cup car spring rates, we're not there yet, but we're starting to push into that area with the 9923 RS. We want to make sure that we keep the car kind. And so at the pace I was running yesterday, the car was pretty kind. At the pace that Ted was running yesterday, the front end was great at those spring rates. The back end was disconnected. He didn't like it. So like coming into turn one, those of you who are familiar with the Ridge, previously Ted was able to run 139, 139, 139, 139, 139, 139, as long as he didn't get caught in traffic, even having to dodge a little traffic here and there. Very consistent, very easy to drive fast. And this is on Super Sport Rs. So not Trofeo RSs, not slicks, just really quick. Anything sub 140 at the Ridge is blazingly fast. A guy, a really good driver from Canada, came down in a 9923 RS on Yoko slicks, A005s, ran a 137. So Ted's on street tires. The other guy's only 2 seconds faster. So I'd say that's good litmus test. Running on racing slicks on 19s. So Ted yesterday was like, yeah, the rear I don't like. I don't like this. Because Charles spent Memorial Day weekend driving the car around trying to get kind of a baseline set up for us. We did the math. We kind of knew generally where we wanted the car to be, but to aid in evening, Matt, how you doing, brother? To aid in our to make it easier to get the dampers in and out of the car, we went to a clevis mount so that we can pull the clevis, pop the damper out, pull the spring off, put the car back, put it back up in, and pop the clevis. Not get into the car, take the cage out, take the seat out, take the dampers out, change the spring rates, put it back. We take what was a 6-hour job and make it a 45-minute job to change the spring rates on one side. So we can experiment a bit better. Downside is we move the rebound adjuster from the top of the damper to behind the tire. So it's at the top of the damper, but it's inside the wheel well. So we got to take the tire off to adjust the rebound. So Charles spent time on Memorial Day weekend getting all the rebound set, getting everything set, and he did a really damn good job for not really being able to push the car on the racetrack. Now, I don't know how much he pushed it on the street. I don't want to know, so we'll just leave that lie. I'm sure he never exceeded the speed limit, never broke any laws. Going into turn one, as Ted's getting the car leaned over, it's about 120 as he's coming into turn one. The back end decided, nope, don't like that. At about 110 miles an hour, he's like sliding into two sideways and then up the hill. Now, Ted's pro. He didn't mind it. He's like, that's cool. It's not fast. It was spectacularly awesome to see. I didn't see it. I don't even think we have video of it. But that's not fast. And that's certainly not something we want, because essentially what was going on is the rebound was set high enough that as the car was leaning over, it was pulling that outside tire up, even with, because we had the sway bar set at soft. So the damper was overpowering the sway bar. We always start bar soft when we're trying to do damper tuning. And then we use the bars to kind of move weight balance around and chassis balance around. So when he came in, I was like, let's take three clicks of rebound out, just a really giant whack. And he went out again, and he's like, it was a lot better. So directionally, it's the right thing. We're going to move the bar to medium. We're going to leave the rebound where it is. Probably take a little bit of compression out. We're out again on June 12th. We'll put a new set of tires on the car so that I don't have any excuses. And I'm hoping this time I get to do some lead follow with Ted. We'll put him in the white car, put me in the black car, see if I can chase him down, and vice versa, right? Because the black car is as competent as the white car. The white 991.1 GT3 is as competent and is as fast, and I'll share something really kind of cool, as the black car. So I was saying my ex-business partner, Pat, was driving. He took a session in our 991.1.2. I keep saying that. Essentially, we put a 4-liter engine from a 991.2 GT3 in our 991.1 GT3. So, and we tuned it, and it's got all our power parts on it. Things like 70 horsepower up over a 991.2 GT3 stock. So, Pat has a 991.2 GT3 stock. He was feeling his oats at the racetrack. He was moving and grooving. He had a brand new set of Supercar 3Rs on the car. On the set of carbon rev wheels that I sold him from long, long ago, before they stopped making any aftermarket wheels. And he was flying, and he came back in. Yes. Yes. We don't have any proof of this. Yeah, it's full lab rat now. So when we actually get the race nav working, Ted will go out and probably run a 140, 139, same as a GT4 RS. He really liked the setup of the car. He thinks it's perfect to go run hard and go. And Simon will experience this soon as well, as I understand. So anyway, Pat's in a 991.2 GT3. The end of the straight before he's braking, he's about 145 miles an hour. He looked down when he was in our car, 148. I think he was 148 miles an hour before he's braking for turn one. He looked down in our 991.1 with the 991.2 GT3 4 liter. He was going 164 miles an hour. And he came back in and he's like, oh, that must be the tire size. It's because you're running smaller tires. And I'm like, well, Pat, you're running 19-inch Supercar 3Rs on the rear of your car. They're the same size. So the difference you saw is real. I don't know what the GPS speed was, but the delta between his car and our car was very much real. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. So that's exciting to see that, it's been validated and that he's even not us, because we didn't drive Pat's car. He's like, holy shit, this car's fast. And that's with all our aero on it. So power helps you go fast, and it certainly helps to offset any drag penalty that you might have. So luckily, our Zebulon developed aero packages for the cars are very efficient. Which, real quick, shout out to Zeb. I keep giving him a hard time because he's in the middle of racing season. This is Ryan we're talking about. Anybody who's seen our Whiskey Friday Academy, he's the cat that joins us in our aerodynamics discussions. Ryan is going to Le Mans this year. He's supporting a team at Le Mans, 24-hour Le Mans. He's also got a team at Pikes Peak, and he is in the heat of it right now. He's like going racing, then I'm going racing, then I'm going racing, and of course, we finished up the CAD program, or the CAD full CAD file of the car, and Ryan got the baselines done pretty much right before the heat of racing season. So that said, we support our partners, and I'm confident that when we release our full aero package for the 9923 RS, it will be the most efficacious package that you can purchase for the car. Unbounded, unconstrained, unlimited, whatever you want to say. So for those of you who are being tempted this way or that, just hang on, just chill a minute. We're getting our suspension dialed in. We're getting it so that we have options both for lots and lots of downforce and stock. So maybe it's just a spring package, bump spring package, a little bit of clicks on the dial so that you can run both settings, go both ways without too much trouble. I don't want to really have to revalve dampers if we can help it. So that's why we're playing with our car to the extent that we are. So any questions on any of that before I move on to something interesting and recently verified through the Dundon Spy Network all across the land? Give you guys a second and I'll sip on my very delicious drink.
They're just seeing it now.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, it's crazy that since we've dropped our kilobit requirement on this feed and busted the balls of Comcast, we have not had any more problems with 5 o'clock dropping of our feed. Crazy. I think it's more Justin's doing with figuring out the lower level, the high bar that we cannot cross versus Comcast actually doing anything. And very much. Or you might win Cars and Coffee. It just depends on who's at Cars and Coffee. It's just me and Larry, so any big news ain't gonna break too much. So, you guys have heard of the 963, right? There was a 917 created for the road. The 963 is the current prototype race car that Porsche is campaigning in WEC. I have a internet friend. Oh, Matt, we should talk because Pumpkin is exactly a 997 with a GT3 engine, a DFI GT3 engine. We should talk about that because we have a whole lot of things for that. So it looks like, and I called the guy, engineer who works for Penske that I know. This is real. This is real. They're building a 963 road-going race car, road car, to compete with the AMG offering. What's the AMG one called? The Mercedes one. Somebody online will know. I don't remember. But the like crazy hypercar that they built. So Porsche is entering that market, and they're using the 963 as a base for it. So they're calling it the 963 RSP, Roger Searle Penske. So that's a nice nod to the guys that built the car for him. It's kind of cool. I'm also going to talk to the engineer I know about quick turn prototype carbon parts, because that's what he does there. And I can imagine that that's no bullshit for this car. Carbon monocoque, blah, 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 all that shit. So hopefully we see one at a track day in the Northwest soon. Maybe Brian buys one. That'd be awesome. Love to see one of these in real life. Just in time for Rennsport. Yeah, just in time for Rennsport. Valkyrie, yeah, they couldn't let Aston Martin and AMG and Red Bull and all these boys have all the fun. They're like, you guys are treading on hallowed ground here. Back up. Back up. Get behind the velvet rope. This is our party. Thank you. So that'll be really cool. I will not likely be looking for an allocation for one of those. Just for all of you who are worried I might like grab up one of those coveted, don't worry about it. Not into that. Yeah, that's right. AMG one. Haha. That's actually pretty funny, Felix. I did say that. Not intentionally, though. That AMG one, meaning the, like, what, I don't know what the grammar word is for one in that application. I'm not a grammar nerd. So English is a second language for an engineer, and I've leaned on that most of my life. So there you go. Paul, you were missed, and we did tell Karthik that he needs to up his game on his sarcastic British humor. So you need to help him out with that. Take him to school, take him to the bar, get him a drink, get him a pint, let him know what's up, get him schooled up. But for, I don't know if you heard, but the day went great. The day went great, Paul. Karthik did a great job. Had a couple guys doing shenanigans in B. He took care of it, so it was really good. Really good. Even with the traffic, everybody was super cool, super like normal. You, Ollie, Kevin, Kim, and team have built a fantastic DE culture in the PNW, and Dundon is very happy to support it. So, yes, with Iron Fist. Well, he is a little intimidating. He's taller than most of the guys there. I don't know if he's taller than you, but he's not a small dude. So 992 GT2 RS and the 963. Porsche's looking for a lot of margin on their cars real quick. They went from sell a lot of cars to sell a few cars and still make millions of dollars. You guys can fill in the blanks with that. So I'll send a poll out. Maybe we should add a poll to this when we post it. What do you think the 963 RSP MSRP will be? Is this $1 million car? Is this a $2 million car? Is this a $5 million car? I don't even know what's a reasonable thing to ask. I don't even know what one of those costs as a race car, quite honestly. I could ask Chris. He probably has an idea. But they're the factory built race cars for the racing program. I don't know if there's a retail price for that. You wouldn't sell that to a customer. That's just what it cost. So yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. AD09s. Back to Justin's question, who's hopefully he's still watching. I have not run AD09s in general. I have not found Yoko's $1 million trillion with laser beams and sharks swimming around your car. I've not found Yoko's to be the best track tire. As a racing slick, yes, good tire. $963,000 probably. As you like the other offings, I have not found them to be very good, in my opinion. So, Larry, I was rebuffed as well, and I feel chagrin that Porsche has rebuffed me so by not getting a 4RS Club Sport allocation, even though years ago I wrote to PMNA asking for an allocation for a Club Sport before the 4RS was landing so that we could get an early look. I got a reply about 18 months later after I had a 4RS. So maybe we're second stringers. Haven't bought enough from a dealership for retail. I don't know. I thought it was weird. Grr. Because we should all be measured. Absolutely. Start a pity club. Absolutely. We should all be measured by how PCNA views us, right? As consumers. That's how we should measure ourselves as humans and as friends and as value-added members of society. That's the thing that we should be measured by. Oh shoot, Mike. Yeah. Mike, I need to get you hooked up with my buddy Mark. Mark Doran is one of the guys I talked about. He recently moved to Camas, so he's going to be coming, and he asked me, he's like, hey, where do I take my car? So I sent him to AR. So I'm going to get him hooked up with Martin. I'm going to get him hooked up with you for the local Porsche drivers stuff in and around the region down there. Because I told him, you go down to NorCal pretty often. You're going to PIR pretty often. You're one of the homies. So, yeah. Oh, Mike's an HOD guy. Don't worry about that. So I think that's the only time he comes to the PNW is for HOD. So, yeah, exactly. Back to the peasant class. Exactly. So Matt, seriously, write to us. We should have as far as the DFI swaps in either a 981 or a 997. 997 will be first because that's, I'll say 80% done in my 997.1 3RS. We're just waiting on the revised and upgraded printed circuit board CAN translator to make all that work. As far as making it work in a mid-engine car, find a wreck GT4RS, then everything's in the right orientation. Makes it relatively easy. We can take off the stupid ITBs. I'm sorry, all of y'alls that are enamored by ITBs on the cars. They're there for emissions. They're not there for power. They're actually smaller than the runners that feed them. So they're acting as a restrictor. Sorry. Is it fixable? Yes. Take them off. Put a regular throttle body on it. Plug it into the regular ECU. All done. All possible a little early to be able to get all that done, because the linchpin of this is we're doing it all with factory controllers. So all the factory electronics are what make it work. And we don't want to use any aftermarket ECUs or use any other, I'll call cheat codes associated with making all that go. So, did you bring burritos? You're going to be able to hear. So CD's been busy. We have a customer's car here. He's been busy. He's never not busy. We'll say that. He's the type that if he were to stop moving, he'd evaporate. He's kind of like water. He needs to keep disappearing from the swirling wind. That's not an analogy that worked, but just go with it. Some shit that made no sense. Jamie talks nonsense. Yep, most of the time.
I've been busy since 1981,
Exactly.
but I was born in 83.
Crazy. Well, you had a long gestation period. So we are graduating from working solely on GT cars. We are pushing into 997, 991, 992 Carreras and the like. And Charles has been working on one of our great friend Doug Stedding's cars, double checking fitment, testing that all the things that we have checked in CAD and in scan and in
Fits in CAD, fits in car.
right parts from eBay that we purchase and test and make sure that everything actually works, really does work. So Charles was demonstrating our slick bearing removal tool that he came up with that you can actually use with an impact wrench, which generally destroys those kind of tools.
Yeah,
So-
don't use the impact, you'll kill it. Everybody uses the impact, they kill it.
Then they complain that they killed it.
So I did the video using the impact removal and install.
To show that you can't kill it.
That's how I'm gonna do it. So
Right.
you know.
Right. So Doug will be one of the first that gets a full monoballed, absolutely, past 2035. He'll get a full monoballed 991.1 Carrera, and hopefully he likes it, because he's getting it either way.
Hey, if we gotta pull them out, the knuckles, at least we have the tool for that.
Yeah, we got the. You can put the rubber bushings back in the same way.
Yeah, they're a split housing.
Oh, okay. So they'll squish and go in. Cool. That's good. Doug's actually driving my Vantage right now. He wrote me and he's like, "Oh man, this crazy car with the engine in the front is weird, but I've grown to appreciate it and its quirks over time." So. Yes, Paul, swing by. We can get your diffuser back on the car.
Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. I gotta make sure we have bolts for it.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we have. And the other question is, why didn't the bolts that were in it stay in it? That's the potential bugaboo that changes things from a 15-minute job to a multi-hour job when the receiving side of the bolt is no longer with
When was
thread
the last time it was removed?
at Bellevue,
Oh,
when they had to change his whole engine because they didn't do some shit right with his oil change. Didn't they break your oil pan, Paul, when they did your oil change or some shit?
it's that or the fitting in the bottom of the plastic oil tanks.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was fitting in the bottom of the oil tank. That's what it was. Yes. So I had to pull the whole engine out and get a whole bunch of shit and put it back. Yeah. It fell off the car, Larry. Paul wrote me and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have this guy like drop off my diffuser." I'm like, worse. Paul said it. He's gonna drop off my splitter, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did the splitter come off the car? What did you do? He's like, and he sends me a picture, and I'm like, whew. Okay. It's the diffuser. It's a factory part. Whew. Okay, fantastic. Jamie's CEO is like, not my problem. This is a favor. Cool. I'm happy to do favors.
Ever since you.
Yeah, right? Ever since you aired up my tires, my windshield wipers don't work. Charles is the one that explained this to me the first time, and I'm like, it's crazy the frequency in which this happens.
It's all fine until.
It's all fine. So yeah, Paul, we can help you out with that. No worries. No worries. Larry, how was all the track work last weekend? It was hot as balls in Texas. I'm interested how everything went. It's a splitter if you do 100 miles in reverse. Is the car geared for that?
If the diffuser and you drive the car in reverse, what is opposite of diffusing?
It's an expander.
Is it?
It's a lifter.
It's fusing?
It may be, yeah, refusing.
Refusing.
It's refusing to go backwards at 100 miles an hour.
Pick them off cars at Coda.
Seriously? Wow. You guys should talk to track management. That track's got some problems. And or the community that is putting the diffusers on the car around Coda have problems. Larry, how was, let us know how your track day was. I know you were loading up. Felix was loading you up, and you guys went to, you go to Houston?
NOLA Sport? NOLA, whatever?
No, it was, what is it, MHR or something? It's a motorsports ranch or, I don't know. It wasn't Coda, but the other one. Felix or
There's a
Larry
couple between New Orleans and Houston. Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, something like that. So anyway, just checking in. We were looking at the weather, which we haven't done the weather yet. We can do our weather segment. So ECR, yes. Oh, nice, with some offs. Well, that's good. You went to Dallas, right on. I'm glad Matt's gaining some confidence in his car. He's going fast. That's great. That's great to hear, because he's fast in a 991, so he will get fast in a mid-engine 4RS. He just has to, kind of like me this last Thursday, I didn't have a lot of confidence in what was going on, so I was slow, right? You got to have that confidence to be able to push the car and know that it's not going to do anything weird. That's why Ted's a good test pilot, so if and when car does do something weird, he can handle it. I don't know that my choreography would be able to handle that the way that his can, so.
Revisit 718 GT4? The white
Yes,
one?
100%.
The car did something weird and you went that way.
Yeah, well, Ted's like, gas. This is the only time Ted right-seated with me. We're in the 718 GT4, and I'm coming out of 5, and I didn't do something right. It was wet, and I can hear Ted, and he's like, gas, because the car's starting to go, meaning the back end's unweighted. He's like, gas, and I'm like, what? And we were backwards by then. We were gone. So luckily we didn't hit anything. It was fine. We didn't have a big deal. But yeah, he's like, you needed to bring weight to the rear of the car so that it would stop doing the thing it was doing. I was like,
Transfer.
it was doing shitty things. You don't give shitty cars gas. He's like, no, you do give shitty cars gas.
Shitty pedal, unshitty pedal.
Exactly. You unshitty them by giving them more gas. When in doubt, throttle out. I'm like, yeah. So.
Damn.
Wow, tight-fitting skirts? I think that's you, bro. You need to fly out to PNW. So, Jesus, take the wheel, hands off approach. I don't know. I hope I survive. I don't know. Wow. That's scary, Larry. I'm glad you guys got through that. So, yeeks. And pushing a Mustang, that's going to happen. It happens at Cars and Coffee all the time.
I didn't know it was legal to do crowd control on track.
Right? That's what they do, right? They were trying to take the two crowded guys behind him out. He was doing crowd control.
Failed.
The 2.4 RS. They were like, shh, got around him, gone. Like, what's up? All right, we're gonna turn this over for questions, or if Charles has a story, because I'm done. It's time to go get hamburgers.
Don't forget about that.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about politics here for a second. So the Senate and the House have now pushed through legislation to revoke California's exemptions from the EPA. This is very exciting as a car guy. It's also potentially encouraging as a manufacturer of performance parts. in the United States, because one of my beefs for a very long time is that Clean Air Act has a very clear, easily defined set of rules about if you make a change to a car, it has to do X, Y, Z. Charles and I read the law. We understand it very clearly. We know that what we make abides by this without a doubt, period. We can put all of our parts on a car on the factory ECU, runs great, in fact, runs better than factory most of the time, and we don't have to worry. I hired an EPA lawyer, somebody that defends petroleum companies from egregious actions and these kinds of things. They used to be an EPA enforcer. They worked in CARB. They know their shit. They're in California. Hired them. I need you to consult about how I do this with the state of California. State of California essentially said, if you are making XYZ changes, we won't even look at your application. Timeout. That is not what the law says. The law stipulates these things, and that it is your duty as the bureaucracy that is providing this thing. No, not Catalyst. No, no, no. Bad. Justin, delete that comment. Go away. No. We can get all of the benefits and keep all of the emission requirements by unbounding the dollars. If we unbound the dollars part of the equation, and we have learned individuals like yourself that appreciate the things that we make and are willing to spend $20,000 for an exhaust, Porsche would not invest $20,000 in the exhaust of a $200,000 car. But if you want to, then this should be a thing that is allowed. And currently it is not. In other states, it is. If it passes, it passes. They don't care.
Yeah. There's that whole intent section from the initial.
Right. Right. Are you intending to defraud, or are you intending to comply?
And anything motorsports wise, there was the section where you're allowed to do stuff. Because even what I think it's 2012 in newer cars, technically you can't even. Technically, you're not even supposed to pull the catalytic converter off the car, unbolt it in California.
Right.
Technically, they can fine you for that.
Yeah, if you take it off the car, but it broke. Yeah. It cracked. It's destroyed. Nope. Leave it on the car.
Yeah. All the paperwork stuff for that is crazy.
Right.
The what?
What if someone steals your cat in California?
Sorry. Then you're just got to park your car.
Yeah.
Crush it.
No soup for you. Crushed. Done. So anyway, I'm interested to see what happens with this, and I don't expect it to last forever. We're not going to have a Doge supporting Republican, no government. I mean, virtually libertarian at this point. Like, strip out all the stuff. But it's interesting. In the meantime, we'll see what happens. So, luckily, we have all the data that we need so that I can sleep easy at night. We spoke to a number of different legal counsels about it, and they're like, look, if that day were to come that somebody were to come and challenge you about what you're doing, you guys are okay. You got all the data you need. Don't worry about it. So, okay. You can't get that, rubber stamp in the state of California because they won't even accept your application for it. And we've gone through SEMA, we've gone through, pointed it through all the different possible channels. They're like, no. Okay, fucking hell. Fine, great.
I'm surprised they can sell cars there.
That's the challenge is based around that. 2035, no more internal combustion engines. So, anyway, Mike was saying he was going to tell Paul about his spin from from a Corvette. How about that? Big surprise there.
That's scary.
Front straight, PIR, a few feet from the wall on the left, Corvette dumping ahead, spin initiated. Oh, Jesus, Paul. Was that in the red car?
That was Mike. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, no catless, no race headers unless you have a race car that is actually a factory built and VIN numbered race car. That is what is considered a motorsports exemption. Only that. If you have a street car with a license plate,
Actually, by the letter of the law, any race car produced after 2012, you can't even pull them off.
nope, didn't hear that.
What?
Charles didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Delete dump button.
Yep. Oh, that was Jesus. Yeah. Mike, that would have made me poo my pants. I would have definitely had code brown. 138 mile an hour flat spin.
Have you ever thought of taking headers home for your cats to lay on them?
If they were warm,
You can warm them up. We got a torch.
she would like that. We've got a heating mat.
Yeah, good picture of catted headers.
Yeah, catted header, race headers with a cat on them.
Catted headers, catless headers. That's like the Kia Nokia meme, right? Kia Nokia.
Kia, Nokia. That's actually funny.
No key required to start.
Nokia required to start.
Kia's the car, Nokia the phone. So this
Right.
would just be
Nokia.
catted headers, non-catted headers.
Meow. No meow.
What's wrong with this?
Right? He's fine. Kitty's cute. You should always have catted headers because kitties are cute.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
I would say, is that Portland? That's the Portland overpass, I think.
Oh, PIR? Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, we don't mind supporting the states of Florida and Texas.
You know, if they're trying to get rid of all the smog in California, I figured at this point somebody would have thought to take Mega Maid from Spaceballs to just suck it all out. I mean, it's not that hard, right?
No, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. We were already talking about diffusers,
Yeah.
so should be fine.
Actually, Justin, this guy has a 997 VIN.
I do. I have a 997 Cup car. It's sitting right over here. So, speaking of, I did not lead with this. I should have. We still have a number of pre-owned parts, and everyone is so enamored with when we have pre-owned parts. I will outlay them to all of you so that you might have the opportunity to procure said bargains with lifetime warranties. We have two 997.2, sorry, Justin, 38RS. One exclusion to that is if you were to do a D4 package on your 997.1, then this is the right exhaust. You
Wait,
can
are
run.
they 2-inch headers?
Yeah.
Then no.
No? Still inch 88? Damn it. All the time when I think I know what I'm talking about, I just have to lean over and Charles is like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So, 38RS or 4.0 RS, we have
Ooh, if
two
he does
sets.
an engine build,
Yeah, if you have an engine build.
dugger that out.
Yep. So send it down to Simon. He can take it out. Send it to Gordon. Build it into a 4-liter. Then you can have these lower cost headers that now cost you a whole fuckload more than you were going to spend.
Spend 40 to save 4.
Yeah, spend 60 to save 2. That's some woman math right there. Honey, I saved our house payment by buying all of the stuff. Our dentist actually told me that. He's like, I bought this sofa and I saved our house payment. So I just paid our house payment, right? We should go over the subtraction part of math again because it obviously has been missed.
Yeah.
The muffler does, the headers don't from the 991. That's correct. We have a 991.
991.1 Cup car.
Yes, 991.1 Cup. You could find one of those, but that would be for a Cup car.
Yes, I would.
We've already said too much in this
He just wants them for his coffee table.
widely broadcast YouTube vlog that I'm sure Palantir is going to mine and send to the EPA at some point. That actually Palantir went up $5 a share today because Trump tweeted that he is commissioning Palantir to collect data on all of the citizens in the United States.
I can't believe I didn't some of that stuff.
It went to 130 today.
I bought it at 20.
Dude,
Should have said something.
god damn. You listen to the wrong people. Yes, you should have kept that one.
I did.
Oh,
I'm refusing to sell it. Yeah.
fuck yeah. You're in good shape then. Keep that shit. Good for you.
Nope.
Nice race style header shape.
I've been
Table
talking
stand?
about doing that forever.
I know. Since we went to the Middle East, you've been talking about making either header stands or
Nathan's like, yeah, make a couple and I'll buy it.
engines and all kinds of shit. So we'll get there. The Cassie works for Palantir? If so, we need to talk. I got some ideas. Anyway, 992 system. It is a hardly pre-owned. There is one header that was run one time, one bank of just the exhaust manifold that was taken off the car, and all the rest of it's new. So everything's new. So if you guys are looking for a 992 GT3, GT3 RS system, seriously, the scratch and dent bin is no lie, but we warranty it. We make sure everything's good to go. So you got a lifetime warranty. It's actually not a bad deal.
We should just have a camera up in the corner
Yep.
and it's just live.
All the time.
And we just throw the used stuff over there. So if it's there and visible,
Then you can get it.
And then we just
Maybe we do an auction, a bid. Like we run it for 2 weeks and let people bid on it. I'm not that much of a risk taker. I don't want some mofos to be like $500. Reserve not met. Try again.
no fun with the reserve.
Right? So we've got a 992 kit. We've got a 997.2 GT3 RS kit. We've got a 991 kit. We've got 2 lifetime loud mufflers. So let us know if you guys are interested in any of it. It's not really accessible on our website directly. This is something we're going to work on next week to fix. We made a pivot on internal software stuff, how we do things, and the pre-owned parts were not the immediate thing to pay attention to. Say it that way. Now that we've got a few systems, we need to pay attention to it. We'll get that fixed. And
So the Proto 991 mini crack?
I don't want to sell that. It's 321. I mean, we can, but we still use it for testing. I'd rather use that for internal testing and not get rid of it, honestly, rather than sacrifice an Inco one.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've used
we
it
could.
We've used it on everything.
Yeah, I mean, we could, but I don't.
Ooh, let's put it on the cup car with valves, just to show a cup car with valves. With the mini crack with the quiet tips. Yes, EPA, this is how
We're
sell this.
gonna pick the most obscure corner of our exhaust landscape and get you guys a video of that, because I'm sure one person somewhere is gonna want that video.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, we actually had a cup car guy. He had a cup car, headers, full crack pipe, and he's trying to meet sound. And he sent us decibels on this is 130. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a crack pipe.
It's quieter
really
than here.
all of the sound comes out of the crack pipe. Even sound from distant universes comes out of the crack pipe. He put a loud muffler on it, and he's like, it's 126. And I'm like, a loud muffler is only 4 decibels quieter? I mean, I guess going only through the lower.
But if you calculate out like 3,000 hertz at 130 decibels to 126,
Well, I know. I mean, it's
a lot less energy.
a lot less energy. Yes, it's doing its job, but he needs to meet 98. I'm like,
You know, if you pack the headers with steel wool, that would help.
or bananas in the tailpipe. Bananas right in the tailpipe, you'll meet 98, and then take them out. That'll probably work.
I should draw up bananas in the tailpipe for Nürburgring tips. That literally is bananas in the tailpipe, but then have holes in it, so they're literally.
Dude, that would be awesome. Since we can 3D print that, that would be hilarious. We could call them the bananas in the tailpipe.
The Donkey Kong special.
That's too funny. That's hilarious. So, Justin, yes, they fit. They're too big to make power on a .1.
Yeah.
They're too big. The waves expand too much. They lose strength. They don't create suction waves as strong as they should for you to gain power. So they're not the right kit for you. Not the right kit. So yeah. Hopefully I don't get hauled off to jail next Monday when, regulators see this video. If so, then you guys know where to find me.
First Amendment. I mean,
Yeah, I was just talking.
California EPA is like the 1B or whatever, but something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they're the tail wagging the dog, as far as I'm concerned. They don't have the same rights as a citizen.
They're wagging the dog to wag the tail.
Yeah. Wag! Do it! Anybody got some quick ones for us? Matt on the water was asking about kits for DFI GT3 engines for 981s and or 997s. I was like, well, that's very appropriate. It's timed not
Yes.
too far from reality. I'd say fall will be a better time to ask that question of us.
981, I think I know how to complete.
Yeah,
Just have to try it.
yeah.
997
We're close. We're close.
and drives.
It runs and drives until it kicks it out of gear, and you're like, well, that was weird. Why'd that happen? It's got a few gremlins that we're getting ready to do. Got some gremlins. Yeah. Tubuku, indeed. Simon nailed it. That diameter is a little too large for you, Justin. We need to get you the smaller, more petite size for your 997.1. That took a very strange turn, as Simon is apt to guide us. Suction is always a problem, especially on between diameters. You have to.
I mean, there is a bibs bigger is better syndrome. So,
Bibs.
I mean,
yes.
I was just saying the other day I'm going to put 24-inch exhaust pipes on
Yep.
the GT4 RS to make another 600 wheel horsepower.
Exactly. This is we talked about the non-congs and the issues with an extra wide tread width on a not wide enough wheel, and the trapezoid that likes to wiggle, and the feel you get through the tire. We talked about that when we started.
So
So
we're putting the 325s in the front next week.
yeah, we'll just swap it around.
Yeah.
275s in the back, 325s in the front.
And 485s in the back.
And then what
Sawzall the fenders.
Paul wanted to do will drive the car backwards.
Yes, he can.
Paul can. We're not.
Oh.
You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. Get out and drive your cars. And